Jesus said in Luke 24, verse 44, that all of the Old Testament ultimately points to him. This means that while the account of David and Goliath can be an example of how we should have courage in taking on the enemies of God's people, it's primarily a picture of Christ. Now, many have acknowledged this, but sometimes they don't get the picture quite right. Some say that David's defeating of Goliath on behalf of his people represents Jesus defeating sin on our behalf. Well, it is true that Christ defeated sin for us. However, that's actually not the picture given to us in the story of David and Goliath. Goliath doesn't represent sin, he represents Satan. Sin is not a person, it's not a being. Satan and Goliath are. Sin doesn't have scales. Satan is described as a serpent, a snake. He's also described as a dragon. Both of those have scales. Goliath is said to have a coat of mail, like chainmail. However, the word used here actually means a coat of scales, just like Satan. If that's not enough to convince you, just look at how Goliath was killed. He was struck in the head. In fact, his head was fractured or crushed. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, it says that Satan would suffer the same fate. So Jesus is our David. He fought against Satan, the enemy of God's people, and thankfully he prevailed. And so, now you know.